Ladies and gentlemen, I have talked about this subject in previous videos, and I have even made at least one other entire video on this topic. But apparently, not everyone has seen those videos. So as a YouTube's superstar, I feel that it is my duty to make this public service announcement. My friend, the problem is that many people new to the exciting and dynamic world of two-way radios naively believe that you can use a handheld GMRS or ham radio as an emergency communication device, for example, to take hiking or off-roading, or when doing other vigorous outdoor adventuring, and use it to summon immediate help in a medical-type emergency. Why, it was just days ago that someone even requested that I make an entire video explaining how to use a radio like this in just such a situation. Now allow me to be clear, I am not making fun of this guy, whose name I cannot even pronounce due to my shameful case of whiteness. But the facts of the matter is that a lot of people ask this question, and it is a very common misconfucularity about GMRS and ham radios. So allow me to break it down. But first, allow me to take just a moment to address the elephants in the room. Many of my most loyal and longtime fans have recently commented about my appearance. The disheveled hair, the weight loss, the dirty beard matted with dried spit and food, and of course, the poor personal hygiene and body odor, as well as my apparent lack of enthusiasm or interest in pretty much everything. And many have expressed concern for my well-being. The thing is, it's just that lately, it's been really hard. Ever since some random viewer said things about me and unsubscribed from my channel, I've really been having a hard time. And I'm sorry. I just can't. So to sum it all up, a GMRS radio, even a ham radio like the Baofeng UV-5R, for most people is not a good emergency communication device to rely on for emergency help or medical assistance when an emergency situation arises unexpectedly while out adventuring in the middle of nowhere. However, it is true that there may be specific situations where a GMRS or walkie-talkie ham radio might be appropriate for getting emergency help or medical assistance, but for the vast majority of non-radio dork people going off-roading, hiking, fishing in the backwoods, or camping in the middle of nowhere, or whatever, this type of radio is not appropriate to rely on for getting help should an emergency situation arise. And if you are out camping or fishing or off-roading or whatever in the middle of nowhere and you encounter a sudden and serious accident, or you lose your inhaler or whatever, and you are relying on your GMRS or ham radio to get immediate, urgent medical care or rescue, your radio could kill you. Allow me to elaborate. Many people just assume that if they fall or get hurt or lost and need immediate emergency help or rescue, they believe that they can just pull the radio that they have probably never actually learned how to use, pull the radio out of their backpack and do this. My friend, that is not how this works. That is not how any of this works. In order to use either a small handheld ham or GMRS radio such as this to get emergency help, you would need two things. First of all, you would need someone to be within range of your radio, waiting, willing, and able to get you the emergency help that you crave. And you would also need to be able to convey to them what the problem is and exactly where you are, something that in a true emergency situation can often be difficult to accomplish. This means that you will need to be within range of a repeater. This also means that you will have to have that specific repeater pre-configured and pre-programmed into your radio. And you will need to know exactly where you are, and you will need to be able to describe that precise information to whomever is listening and waiting for your call, and actually willing to get you help instead of just refusing to talk to you until you give them your FCC call sign. And therein lies the problem. Many areas of the middle of nowhere have no repeater coverage. I would venture to guess that only a tiny portion of nowhere has ham radio repeater coverage, and virtually nowhere in the middle of nowhere has GMRS repeater coverage. And even if you get lucky and you are within range of a repeater, and you know that in advance, and you programmed your radio to use that Pacific repeater, it is still a crapshoot as to whether or not anyone will actually be listening when you start pleading for help. So whilst either a ham or GMRS radio is great for staying in contact with the rest of your group if they are nearby, if you rely on one of these for emergency help, as I mentioned only a moment ago, it could unalive you. My friend, if you want to be able to get emergency help fast and reliably, no matter where you are, then you need something like this. This is a satellite communicator. With one of these, you just press one button, and pretty much the helicopters will come and get you. You do not have to explain where you are. You do not even have to be able to speak. You simply have to be alive enough to be able to press the button. This Pacific satellite communicator can also be used to send and receive non-emergency email and text messages from anywhere. And should you choose to do so, it will also allow others to see where you are and track your location in near real time via the interwebs. Again, no matter where you are, just as long as you are not underground. This Pacific one is the Garmin InReach Mini 2, which I paid for myself with my very own monies, and it goes with me every time I go off-roading. And it costs around $300 of monies. Affiliate link below. And there is also a small monthly fee because it costs a lot of monies for Elon Musk to put up all those satellites above the dome in the firmament. However, there are other options. There are less expensive satellite communicators that do not do everything that this one does, or not as easily. This is a satellite communicator, which, as I mentioned only moments ago, allows you to send non-emergency emails and text messages in addition to calling for emergency help. But there are also satellite locators and beacons which only do the helicopter sending or the location tracking stuff. I will put an affiliate link to some of those less expensive devices in the information section below. And even some of the new iPhones offer emergency satellite connectivity, although I have not tested that out yet. My friend, the point here is that one of these is not intended to get you immediate help or rescue in a real-life, sudden, and unplanned emergency. But something like this is. Know the difference and stay alive.